Hello, football fans, and welcome to the very first episode of the Corner Flag podcast. My name is Simo, and I was lucky enough to spend some time with Macarthur Bulls defender Jake McGing. We spoke all things life, football, and family, and we had such a great chat that we couldn't wrap it up. So we've actually turned this episode into a two-parter. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy round one at home. First, Jake McGing. So, being our first episode, I'm going to explain quickly what's happening if you don't mind, and then we'll dive right in. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. So, I've got a bunch of segments that I really want to touch on with you and a range of topics that I hope you enjoy, and I hope the fans at home enjoy it as well. Where the idea is obviously just to really connect you with the fans and let people get to know a little bit more about you, about your story, and hopefully learn a few things and have a bit of a laugh on the way. So, wherever people are listening, whether it's on YouTube or if they're on a podcast app or Spotify or something like that, they'll be able to sort of get a real insight into Jake McGing and your journey to sort of becoming a Bull. In the future, I really do want to get a lot of fan interaction and stuff. So I've actually got a question from a fan for you today. I've done a lot of prep, a lot of research into this, mate. So
it's good stuff.
Yeah, all over it. So, and as we progress, I really do want fans to get involved as well. So we're going to be really active on social media and stuff. So hopefully they can ask some questions or some segments that they might want to see and things like that. So also looking maybe some cheeky giveaways as well. So we need to stay tuned. So we're going to start with a segment that I've dubbed the Stampede. Okay, keeping on the theme of the Bulls.
Yeah, sounds exciting.
Yeah, so it's pretty much, I'm going to whip out there's another one. I'm going to whip out a bunch of questions for you, like in rapid fire, and you need to pretty much just answer with first thing that comes to your mind. Most of them are yes or no. Some of them might just short answer questions, but if you want to stop and elaborate, you can. Okay. Or if you don't want to elaborate at all, you can as well.
I can pause the stampede.
All right. 100%. You can stop the stampede. Running the ball. Nice. So, if anyone playing along at home, if they have any questions that they would like to submit in future pods, please let me know. Because the last one will be a fan asked question. So we'll see how you go with that. So, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Good. I will get a cowbell for this, I think, at the end and ring the bell, but we're not quite there yet. So
just crop it in you, bro.
Yeah, we're on a tight budget at the moment here, but yes, we'll go from there. So, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. There's quite a few questions, so we'll just. All right. First question: who's the funniest teammate in the squad?
I'll tell you what, he's surprising. I'm going to say Aspro. He sounds bland, but he comes out with some one-liners here and there, so I'll put him in.
There you go. Very good.
Big Jono.
Number two, on away days, who's the roommate you'd want to most avoid?
I've heard, I haven't witnessed it or experienced it, but Phil Curto, apparently he snores. Yeah, ridiculous. Like the guy just keeps everyone up. So now he's got to the stage where he just rooms by himself. So just to avoid everything like that. You're a room by yourself.
Put him with the kid, and just
basically, just
fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
A roller. Yeah.
Who do you always remember the same person on away days?
Yeah. Yep. So I'm with Matty Miller. I was with him last year. So us two, right back Union. So we
they put you on the right of the hotel as well.
Basically.
On the right side of the plane.
Just away from everyone, basically.
Just overlap for dinner and come. Yeah, fair enough. Cool. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I grew up on pineapple on pizza. It's unbelievable.
Just pineapple.
Yeah, just purely pineapple. Yeah, no base either.
VAR, keep it or sack it?
Keep it. I think it needs to be in there, but just less intervention probably better.
As in a time thing, or
that's the biggest thing because you're on the field and you're just going, all right, it's been a minute. What's happening here? The ref goes to the sideline, comes back, and then they'll just do the exact same decision that already happened anyway. In terms of that, I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think it's changed the viewers. Like when you're at the game, it's definitely changed. Like something we've never experienced before. So there's this big long pause and whatever. The thing that gets me is the celebration after. Like if it's given a goal, especially if it's overturned to be a goal. Yeah. Guys sort of don't know whether to like. Do I go run to the corner flag?
That's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, I've never experienced it, but I can imagine. Like, exactly. So,
all right. Pre-season, love it or hate it?
I think it's very long in Australia. That's the biggest issue right now. I'm knee deep into it right now, so it's maybe if you ask me during the season, I'll say something different. But it's very long, very strenuous. But it's one of those things that need to happen in football. So definitely needs to be done. Worst dressed in the squad? Lockie Rose for sure. Yeah, he tried to. I don't know. Last season, he was hanging around Azani a lot, and Azani would wear, like, the style, the baggy clothes and everything. But Azani would spend a lot of money and get nice baggy clothes and stuff. But Lockie Rose would go down to Golo and bloody Kmart and find some ridiculous clothes. So he's tried to take that Azani style, but made it 1,000 times worse.
So it's like the Wish version of Azani.
Basically, yeah.
Fair enough. We'll jot that down. Best dressed.
Best dressed. Danny De Silva. He puts in a shift every day. Like dressed to impress every single day at training.
Yeah, even to training.
To training. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. Like I'm just going.
Are we talking like button-ups,
button-ups, dress shoes, pants. The
Surely
works.
half the boys are rocking up in slides and.
I'm a disgrace. Like I mean, lucky we're top up, but I'm a disgrace. But like I'd say 80% of the team are literally just your sports clothes coming in that, and then he's decked. He's decked out. So.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Let's know. Okay. Best hair. And I think you can exclude yourself from your hair's always on point. So
I was going to say, it probably would be me. I'll hold it down for a while, but best hair. I'll tell you what, I'll put Danny again. He's got that old school, like, was it 70s, 80s style, like the longer, like he's a little bit curly. I was trying to grow it out to actually base like that.
You were? Yeah.
Back into last season. And then, I just don't have the curls or anything. It just looked.
Yeah, so that happened to me in lockdown. I obviously couldn't get a haircut, and I thought I could do long hair, and it got to the point where it was like in between being like nice and being long, and I was like, I can't do anything with this. Like,
it's one of those.
Yeah, no good. All right, I think I don't know if I know the answer to this tonight. What about worst hair?
Oh, Lockie Rose.
Yeah, I was going to say be careful because he's a bit of a cult hero. You've seen The Hill. There's a lot of boys and girls up there with the wigs on and the headbands. Yeah.
No, I'm not having it. It's just. I don't know. The way he cuts it or something, it's literally just straight kitchen scissors. He does it. I think so.
Surely
it's too straight. It's too much of a bob not to be cut. So he gets the ruler out basically and just
surely
snips it straight. No chance. So you can't.
If he is, I apologise to his. All right. Who's the fastest player in the squad? Who's the most rapid?
I'd say probably Jed Drew, he's quick. He's about 35, I think. We lost ours quick, but I'd say Jed now. Yeah, he's a little repeater. Yeah.
Can I go the opposite and say who's the slowest?
Aspro. Straight off the
no
bat.
hesitation.
He knows it too. Yeah, he's
even the keepers.
Oh,
because I thought you would have gone straight to someone.
I mean, I'd love to see a race, to be honest, but like in terms of turning circle, Aspro's
Oh yeah,
he's stiff as a board.
Yeah,
he knows that. He's embraced it. It's part of his DNA now. So he's worked. He's just smart. Where he positions himself, like that's how he deals with it that way.
So if he's playing inside you, you're going, look, I'm probably gonna have to just duck in there. Yeah, check in. Yeah, fair enough. Who's the fittest in the squad? So who's topping the pre-season fitness drills generally?
Probably Jetty again. He's that guy's
young
machine.
Boys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like me, it was me once upon a time. But now you get close to that 30, you're not anymore. But Jetty's he's a joke. He wins everything basically, like speed, fitness stuff. So he's good athlete.
He's the kind of guy that ends a fitness session and then does a bit extra.
Yeah. He's got business about him, but he's he always tries too hard too. That first yo-yo, you're meant to like everyone's kind of together. You're like when you're doing another one towards the back end of pre-season, so just relax at the start. But
he just
below,
so it looks like a gross.
Exactly, he takes it too far, and then he.
If your strength and conditioning guys are listening, that doesn't happen at all.
No.
Fair enough. I won't ask you who the least fittest player is because I think we'll leave that one there. What is your proudest achievement in football?
I would say professionally probably the cup last year. To be fair, that's my first trophy I've won. To go from some pretty dark days early in my career to winning the trophies is massive. And the way it panned out was just really good. Versus in Sydney night in the final there, but the crowd was actually it was actually really good. Really good experience. So it's I'd say the cup. Sure.
Yeah, it looked a great atmosphere there as well. So. What are you binging at the moment? Whether that be television, so your Netflix streaming, movies, series, podcasts, whatever. What are you What are you into?
So I've gone down the rabbit hole of the Yellowstone. You know, the Paramount, they've come out with the, what was it, 18 something? 18.
Yeah, it's like the prequel.
Yeah,
right?
so I've just finished the 18, whatever that was.
Have you watched the actual Yellowstone?
So I got halfway through it ages ago when it first came out, and then I just, for some reason, just stopped watching it. And then I'm like, I was flicking through Paramount the other day. I'm like, I see these like 1820, and I realised I did a bit of Googling. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a prequel, you got to watch this one, and then Yellowstone. So I'm like, okay, before I go back and watch Yellowstone, I'll watch the little prequels first, get into it, finish it off.
See, I don't know, because they released that after Yellowstone was released. So are you meant to watch it that way?
I just Googled it.
See, I've gone back and done the whole Marvel universe, but I watched it in like timeline order, not order they were released. So it like all makes sense, because I know the whole thing with that was when it came out in the movies, you're like, oh, is this in the future, in the past, whatever. So I went through and watched like the timeline version. It all makes sense to me. I was like, this is great. But
if only they released it that way, that would have been.
I know, right? They just keep us on our toes. Yeah. So what's your favourite holiday destination that you've been to?
I haven't been to that many places, like especially overseas.
Yeah.
Basically been everywhere in Australia. I'd say overseas probably. Oh, it sounds bad, but probably Bali, to be honest. Yeah, like
I think it comes a bad rap because there's absolutely beautiful places there.
Yeah, which I just was purely salmon, but no, because I went for an end of season trip.
Trying to help you.
So, so in terms of so end of season, so it's top.
It depends on your goals and what you want to do.
Yeah,
family holidays very different. But
so
fair enough.
Time of my life.
What about in Australia though? What's the coolest place?
I'd say probably I do like Gold Coast a lot. I went down there a fair bit when I was living in Brizzy, so I'd say that or Sunshine Coast probably.
Yeah, I love Broad Beach up there. It's nice.
Stops
very good spot.
Good part of the world.
Where's next on the bucket list? Where would you like to go?
Probably Europe. Like to experience the islands, Croatian Islands, Greek Islands, something like that.
Yeah,
everyone says it's unbelievable. And then bloody every June comes around, you look at your Instagram, you're like,
you're only like 8 jumpers and you're on the beach. Great.
Exactly.
No, and you feel like everyone's in Europe.
Oh,
like everyone. There's not anyone who's not in Europe. You're the only person left here. Yeah, fair enough. This one might catch you a bit off guard. So, who is your biggest role model or hero? Could be football, non-football, whatever. Who do you sort of look up to?
I'll go football sense. Mine growing up was Harry Kewell. Oh mate, I was obsessed with that guy. I basically followed him his whole career. When he went to the start of Leeds, I was a Leeds fan there. You would have enjoyed that.
Yes,
so I used to love him there when he's young winger, like what a player. And then Liverpool, we went there, and then ever since then I've gone for Liverpool. But I was obsessed with him. Pictures on the wall, the whole schmozzle. So I'd say Harry Kewell's my guy.
Excellent. Have you had a chance to meet him or not?
No, that's
Harry, if you're watching,
reach out, please.
I've got 2 fans who are meet him.
I'm desperate.
Yeah, so hopefully if this kicks off, mate, we'll get him on. Very good. 2 questions left. Last one from me, then the next one's from a fan. Who was your best ever futsal coach, and why was it me?
So Danny Martinez. We've known each other for a while. When did you start coaching? What, 10?
You would have been under 12s.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, long time now. Yes. So we've known each other for a hot minute now, and I'll put you up there. You're tied first.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Out of 1, probably. So very good. The last one is it's a fan question. This one's from Brad in Harrington Grove. He'd like to know if you had to invite 3 people for dinner, alive or not. Who would you invite? Feel free to elaborate as to why or why not. Up to you.
All right. So I'll go football. Ronaldinho.
Yep.
So
I Portuguese or
he has to speak fluent English, preferably Australian too.
Yeah.
So Dinho speaking English. I just want not too much his career stuff, but the stuff that went off the field with him. He sounded like he just could sit there all day and tell a million different stories, or stuff you hear from the media anyway. So sprinkle a few Champions League stories in there as well. Sure. But he'd be probably the first one.
Yep.
Who else we got? Let's go. I'll go actor. I'll go Will Ferrell.
Oh, yeah. I just invite 3 Will Ferrells.
Yeah, so I mean, how good with that? But you just sit there and just listen. Like,
never talk. I take it in. So I think he's extremely talented, and surely he's a leader. He's a big football fan as well.
Is he?
So he's involved in the ownership, I think, at LAFC. He's one of the owners there, so he loves it. Gets down there.
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So you'd fit in well, the three of us so far.
Yeah.
And then I would go I'd probably Messi, to be honest. I just want to see someone who is at the pinnacle for that long period of time, how their brain works, with like how they just keep turning up, putting in 10 out of 10 performance, how they just keep repeating what they're doing and just winning everything for the amount of time. So probably I'd put those three. And then me, I'd be a bit left out on the table, but good company anyway.
Thanks.
They just boot me. See you later.
Oh, that's great. Interesting, man. Thanks for that. That's the end of our. If I had a cowbell, I'd be ringing it. That's the end of our rapid fire stampede questions. So well done. We're going to step into your career now. Just a bit of your career journey. So I'd love to know, what are your earliest memories of football? So what are the first things that you can remember back? When it all sort of started.
Mine was I got introduced to it by my cousin, who he doesn't even, I think he'd been football by the time he was age about 10, but he just kicking the ball around with him, because obviously I had an older sister, she wasn't really having a bar of it, and then I'd just going to school and stuff, and then just kicking around more and more, enjoying it. I used to play with the older kids all the time, and then my parents got me into they signed me up down at Escott Park, so they're like, give it a go, and then ever since then I literally just fell in love with it, and couldn't get enough of it really. So.
And how did you go from Escott Park, obviously a local club, into that? Not that it would have been NPL then, but that sort of NPL level of football.
Yeah, it was basically the way it was back then. It was just Macarthur Rams were the main team. They were playing in the Metropolitan League for under 11s to 12. So that was my main goal. If I played for Macarthur Rams, that was career done for me. I was happy. So I was like, once I made that team, I was absolutely buzzing. So I was there for 2 years, and then they weren't in the NPL 1 at the time, so I went to Marconi after that, and then basically just played all my youth stuff at Marconi, and just went further and further from there. So
and then from Marconi into heading towards that more semi-pro professional level.
So I was at Marconi. I basically played every single age group besides N-Swiss under 15. 16. So I was in N-Swiss 1 year.
Can I just stop you there? How was that experience? Because I know for me, myself, growing up, I played at Marconi as well, and I actually only really got into Marconi because they lost 5 or 6 kids to the N-Swiss program. So there was obviously some gaps. So what was that experience like? Because from speaking to those guys, they trained non-stop and hardly played games. So was it similar for you there? Or?
Yeah, so I was like similar to you, I guess. So they basically had the first string of N-Swiss players for the first year. That would have been under 15s, and all those guys went to AIS the next year. So then the second string of players went in. That was like my group. So went in there, and then that was basically going from training 3 nights a week at Marconi to 6 times a week plus a game on the weekends. We used to play up in age, so I think it was under 18 Super League then. So like basically guys are fully grown then, and we're only like twigs. So it was there's some proper athletes.
That's right, because you guys were part of the league, weren't you?
Yeah.
I couldn't play finals, is that right?
Yeah. So we used to wait, it happened then we won the league, but then we couldn't play at finals. So it's like, all right, decent.
So also when it was my sort of age group going through, like they didn't do that. So they would do all the training, and there was they'd have like the national championships, like I don't know, once a year or whatever, or twice a year, and that was pretty much it. So it's good. They probably took that feedback on that there are not enough games. It's good that obviously you need to be playing. So So then from Marconi, what happened next?
Yeah, so I was Marconi playing under 20s, and then that's when NYL popped up. So it was only it's changed now. You start off a lot younger in the NYL, but now back then it was you have to be 18 to even be considered in the team. So I went there, and I was at Wanderers signed me when the club first started. So I was there from day dot at Wanderers, getting to see it all.
An inaugural player.
I know, I just love it. So that was sick. Like going from even just Marconi was still part time to a proper pre-season. So that was that was a big wake up call for me there, whether I wanted to push on or not. So it was really good.
Yeah, and then obviously Wanderers.
Yeah, Wanderers. Yeah, so I was at Wanderers for 2 seasons in the youth league, and did well, but wasn't to be there, and I had to trial for Mariners youth team actually. So went and trialed there, and then made the youth team and spent a season with the youth team, and did really well. It's probably the best season I've played, and then from there got signed with the first team at Mariners. So it was that was a big thing for me.
Yeah, I do remember you went back and played a bit of NPL.
Yeah, so the way it was set up back then, it was basically you played youth league over when the A League coincided with the A League, and then you'd go in the winter, you go back and play for Macarthur. So I was basically just playing all year round then. So in hindsight, it was actually really good. You get to play football all the time. So it was, that's the way it was set up back then. So it was
because did you play a bit for the Mariners when they were running NPL 2 at the time or whatever it was?
Yeah, so that was when I just signed. Yep. So that was after the youth league that I signed. They're like, we want you to go play the whole off season with it was Mariners Central Coast Academy, that was called back then. So it was and that was in the Super League too. So that was when I would have versed you then.
Correct. That's how I knew. I was like leaning towards that. This podcast about me.
Pretty sure we won both games, but no, it was that was good. Like that was tops. It was me and Josh Bing were the two guys signed from our youth team. So we played basically the whole season besides the finals with there, and then we got straight into pre-season. Had a week off, and
I actually remember turning up to Linwood Park and seeing you there, and I was like, "Oh no, what's going on?" And but I was surprised. I remember you told me that you were playing centre back, and the whole big thing. I think that was that big transition in football when it became a little bit sort of stylish to have cool centre backs that can play, because you were always a centre midfielder, and every time I see you at Marconi, and obviously through futsal, extremely talented, very good on the ball. And when you told me playing centre back, I was like, mind you, you've grown about a foot since I've last seen you, so that's a bit different. So how was that transition from, centre midfield into the back line, and obviously now more so at right back, but how was that transition for you?
Yeah, it was weird at the start. It was one of those, like, as any player, if you want to be further up the field. So it was one of those when it was Walmsley and Hutch at the time, they pulled me in there, like, we got a lot of midfielders, Mariners first team, like Caceres and Hutch and Monty, and basically
Hutch was playing and on the coaching staff, so he's like, you're not taking my spot.
Yeah, no, so he was basically transitioning into. Oh yeah, so he was actually.
He wasn't ready for you to
maybe
take
not
his
Hutch.
spot,
He was saying, you're not taking my spot. But so they had a fair few midfielders anyway. So it was one of those, like, if you want to play, we're gonna see how you go at centre back. I think there's an opportunity there for you. So I'm like, I'll give it a go. No worries. So that whole season playing for Central Coast Academy, that's when I started playing centre back, and to be fair, I enjoyed it. It's good. Like, that's you get to, everything's in front of you. You get to dribble a little bit if you're ballsy enough. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. So it was one of those things that kind of stuck, and then just took off from there really. So, and
just with that, because obviously I followed your career quite closely, and I remember when you sort of started playing in the A League at centre back. I think I'm pretty sure, if memory is, Eddie Bosnar was next to you for the start, and then he got transferred or traded, whatever. He left. And I felt like it was just a bunch of kids. And obviously you guys had some really tough results, but your whole back line, you looked about 12 compared to some of the players you're playing against. How is that, as an obstacle and a difficult part of your career to sort of not be too disheartened? Because I suppose from a fan point of view and the media point of view, they're probably looking at you guys conceding a lot of goals, and they're going, well, our backline's too young or not experienced enough, those things. What sort of toll did that take on you? And how did you sort of overcome that, I suppose, too? Because it could have broken, a lesser person. So it's probably a testament to you that you're still going. So how did you sort of overcome those issues and those troubles?
Like I said, it was huge, to be fair, because it's it's something that you don't. It's your first experience in professional football, so you don't really want to start on the back foot like that, I guess. So it was one of those things where we went through pre-season. It was really good. Team were flying or whatever. I think the first A-League game we won, my debut, I was happy with that. And then it kind of a few things went on behind the scenes, and there was a bit of a clean out. A few of the senior guys left, so it was basically a lot of us younger guys that were there to play. So results didn't go away. It was a tough period for me because you just want everything just to go well for you at the time, and it's it's just one of those things in football where you just got to bite down, and I'm glad I did at the time, because it made me super thick skin now. Nothing really affects me anymore because I've dealt with some some serious things. So it's that's in hindsight, it's probably a good thing to happen for me at that age, I think. So
excellent. We will touch a little bit later on that sort of mental strength and those things and overcoming that. Is there anything else that you saw, I suppose, when you look back before we get to how you ended up at the Bulls, because there's a few more steps, but any of those sort of moments found really pivotal for your career? Like, was there anything that stands out where you go, like, maybe it was that sort of, like dealing with that adversity, I suppose, to make you a better footballer?
Yeah, I think so, definitely, because it's, football's a funny game where, like, from week to week, you can experience a million different emotions, really. You can be flying one week, you win, next week you score an own goal, you get sent off, you hate life, it's the worst game ever, you want to retire. Injuries too, so it's one of those things that I'm glad at the start of my career, I definitely basically got to experience everything, like all the negative side of football, social media too. That was a big one. Whereas they tell you not to read the comments, but when you're 20 years old, you're scrolling after every game and you see everyone's going, McGing out, he's the worst. You get inboxes, you're just going, wow, this is tough. And then you basically rock up the next game, you got to do it all again. So it's one of those that I'd say that's probably the biggest thing for me. Whereas I basically had to go, okay, like, is this what you want? This is you enjoying this? All right, let's do it. Let's
Would that play on your mind if you made a mistake? Oh, I'm going to cop it from the fans or from on socials or whatever, or not really? Like back then, I suppose. I'm sure now you probably moved beyond that to an extent, but I'm sure was in the back of your mind at all?
Oh, for sure. Well, like when you're young, 100%. It's not so much in the game. You're not thinking, oh, I'm going to get blasted on social media. It's more like, oh, the coach is going to, I'm going to get binned next week. But it's like, it's quite relentless, because once you not only you finish the game, you go home and then you got to experience everything that happened in the game, because you're just getting peppered on the social. So it's it's just part of the job. So
fair enough. So from the Mariners, where to next?
Went to Poland. That was spent half a season over there, and that was that was a crazy experience.
Yeah.
I went
crazy good or crazy interesting?
Everything. Like I can't speak highly of it enough, to be honest. As I tell every young guy, if the opportunity happens, no matter what, like obviously you don't want to go to a really bad league, but Polish league's quite good. So it's I'd tell them to go experience it, because I went from Australian Central Coast summer to Polish winter. I remember just jumping off the plane, going, just shivering, and then and the team that I went to in the battle, like a relegation battle, we come second last, bottom two go down. So I think it was about 12 or 13 games to play. So I basically got to experience everywhere. Games that let you do or die. I remember one time we lost. It was like my third or fourth game going in there. Lost like 2 games in a row, and go out to train. And there was like, I'd say 20 or 30 ultras, skinheads, scary looking dudes. Yeah. Wouldn't let us go out to train. I'm like standing there, because obviously I can't speak a word of Polish. And I'm going, what's happening here? And then like I just hear like our captain and these ultras just going back and forth, like telling each other off. I'm going, oh my goodness, what's happening here? Like, never experienced this in the A. Like, obviously the fans like get behind the boys, but like to that degree where it's like I felt like this could get violent at any stage, like. So it was just massive experience for me. Team stayed up as well, so I got to survive relegation. So it's it's cool. Really cool. Yeah.
So after Poland, back to Australia with Brisbane, is that right?
Yep.
Yes. So, how did that come about? So.
While I was over there, it was basically the Polish thing as well as one of those. They're quite ruthless over there, where new coach came in towards the back end that allowed us to stay up. He did really well, to be fair, but he basically wanted to clear out all the foreigners, so we all just got binned out of nowhere. I still had another season to go over there, but just you're gone. So then. Yeah, Brisbane hit me up while I was over there and said, would you be keen on coming back? And then I'm like, yeah, why not? So Brisbane, a big team as well. So I was like, I'll come back, and good time up there. So
how was that experience?
Yeah, it was good. I had Robbie Fowler as coach. So that was, growing up as a Liverpool fan, having him as coach was,
was your coach.
Quite surreal, literally. So, to have him in there, he was really good.
Can I ask, what was he like? Did he bring another level of professionalism or not? Like, how did he... I don't know, you sort of see these guys who play in the Premier League at the highest level, and he played for Leeds as well, I might add. But in terms of him as a coach, relaxed, intense, What did he bring?
No, I'd say relaxed, really approachable. He's quite good tactically, but he was good. He had a assistant coach who was the fiery one, like a typical English assistant coach. Yeah, get stuck in, blah blah. So they worked quite well.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah. So he'd pull you in, bring the shoulder over, and the other guy would abuse you. So it was but no, I can't speak a bad word about him, to be honest. He was good coach. So it was actually a bit of a loss for Brisbane that he left, but
I think a loss for the league, to be honest. He definitely brought a lot, and just that, a bit of star, really, like that star power. It's always good to have someone like Robbie Fowler involved. Oh. Even him playing and then into coaching, it was sensational. So from Brisbane to the Bulls, how did you feel? I suppose when they announced the Bulls, that they got successful in the bid. What goes through your head then? Like, you were at Brisbane, is that right? Yeah. So what goes through your head when your hometown finally gets a club, an area that's been starved of professional sport? I think the Tigers have played there 4 games a year or something, and probably lose all of them.
Yeah.
So how did that sort of sit with you, and what was the plan? Is it a call to the agent, mate, get me a gig, or did you have another year at Brisbane, or how did that sort of situation work?
So I had another year at Brisbane, but it was one of those, as soon as I got announced, I'm like, I want to get back there, going back home. I'd been away from home, even though I was living at the Central Coast or whatever. It was still I've been living away for ages. So it's one of those, I wanted to go back home as soon as the club got announced, really. So it was, I was lucky that Ivan Yelich was assistant coach, who worked with me at Mariners. He was assistant coach there under Ocon. So he and he really liked me, so he put my name forward to Hunt, who I worked with before Wanderers too. So it was one of those things, kind of everything just aligned. And then they hit me up and like, would you want to come? And then I still had a year at Brisbane. I'm like, I'll just come. And to be fair, like back end of Brisbane, I wasn't playing much either, and I'm just like, I'm there, 100%. Yeah.
And how does that work? Like, I suppose for the fans at home, we never get to see this side of things in terms of negotiations and agents and whatnot. You having a year still on your Brisbane contract, was that just a mutual termination kind of thing? Both parties were happy for you to go, or is there another step involved in that? Or
no, to be honest, that was pretty seamless. Like, I've had ones in the past where they weren't like that, but Brisbane were like, we're not going to stop you from going back home. It wasn't like I was going to Melbourne or something, like it was one of those things. I'm like, I want to go back home. That's it. And they're like, okay, no worries. Like, so it was probably a good time to have around all the COVID stuff. So they were like thinking about the cap and the cap and whatnot. So they were actually really good. So
that's good. So we're going to move into a new segment now. We're going to look at a little bit of training and preparation sort of side of things. Again, something that fans we probably don't get to see too much of, so hopefully really insightful. So love to hear what sort of the average day/week looks like for a game. Say, round 3 or 4 in the season, you've done your pre-season, whatnot. What does the week look like for a professional footballer at Macarthur Bulls?
Yeah, so it depends on the coach. I've had different coaches where they tinker with the lead-in. So it'll be sometimes a 2-day lead-in, so basically 2 days before the game, you train, game, or some coaches do 1 day, some coaches do 4. So the way it was last season, we did 2 days lead into the game. So basically, say you go from Saturday to Saturday, you play the game, you'll come in Sunday morning, do recovery, you have the Monday off, then you go Tuesday, train, Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday.
Would that Tuesday be a heavy session?
Tuesday would be a big one. Yeah. So basically, you've had your recovery time. So they'll put there's not really much tactics or anything that goes on that Tuesday. They'll be full of games, and basically, if you played bad on the weekend, you get smashed on that session. So
is that an individual thing or a team?
Both. Yeah, just me running by myself. But so that'll be the big day. That's pretty much it. Working week.
And obviously that sort of Thursday, Friday before is
that's when your tactics will get involved. So Thursday will be a big tactics day. So you normally do your attacking, defending kind of thing. Basically trying to work off what the other team's doing, what you want to implement going into the weekend, what you want to change. So that's the big tactics day. And then Friday's kind of just nothing too heavy, light on legs. You might play a bit of Chevers, bit of rondos, set piece, and you're kind of out and prepping for the game. So
fair enough. And how would that differ to, say, pre-season? So let me set the scene. Pre-season where you're not playing games yet. What's your Saturday to Saturday look like where there's no game scheduled?
Yeah, so basically you just don't have any days off. Honestly, you'll get maybe one day off, but it could be, they say it's a day off, but it's a recovery where you have to go to a recovery centre and you're doing stuff there. So it's pretty full on. You're basically in every single day. And then those days consist of, normally you'll do 2 sessions. So it'll be a session in the morning, like proper training, lunch, and then you go and do gym or another field session. So you don't want to be doing another field session in the afternoon. So if you get gym, it's not too bad, but so they're pretty full on, and you're getting worked into the ground the first session in the morning. So it's that's why. And doing 4 months of that, it takes a toll. So
we need a longer season.
Yeah, so it's funny.
The big wigs of the A-League are watching. Yeah. The players want longer season, less pre-season. All right, you've heard it here first.
It's funny when the foreigners come in, they go, What 4 months? Like they're used to doing like 1 month, and it's just games. They'll do like 2 games a week or whatever, straight into the season, game on. But then they come to Australia like, we're still training, are we? So,
I think the AFC Cup and Australia Cup's a bit of a
massive. Yeah,
like for you guys, it's a bit of a break for you too, and change probably change what your pre-season would look like. I know even a few boys that played at the start of when the A-League first started, the season was even shorter, and if they didn't make the finals, it wasn't a season over. They just kept training because the clubs are paying them. They're like, well, you might as well get better.
Exactly. So, there's nothing worse than those. You train for a month up until some clubs do it, like that at Mariners a couple of times, where it's basically the season finished, and if you didn't do too well, they're like, nah, you're literally, whenever the grand final is, you're training up until that day, and then you're getting like smashed too. Yeah. So it's just like you're going up for what? There's guys who are leaving. It's just like no one wants to be there. It's just oh my goodness.
Turn up, the coach hasn't even brought the balls out.
Yeah, so sometimes you don't even have a coach because he's got binned off the last game of the season. It's just you and the strength conditioning coach. So it's it's good.
Do you find it hard to be up for that mentally every day? So I suppose for a lot of people watching at home who may play NPL or have played NPL level or even park football. Park football might not even train. We train once a week, or NPL's 2-3 times a week. I think personally for me, I remember when I first started playing first grade, like I was at university. So, I'd go to uni in the morning, do nothing, go and train the house down because I was, and I remember the older boys in the team, sort of like coming straight from work in their work kit, and they're knackered, like, and they've got to come and train, whatever. And we're doing fitness, and like you said earlier, I was one of the young boys just sort of up the front, and I'm like, what are these blokes doing, And obviously then as sort of my career progressed, you're going to work, family, whatever, then you've got to go to training. It's difficult to be up for that. So for you, this is your job, and every day you've got to be up for it. And obviously, like you said before in the season, there's those sort of curves where it's like, it's sort of more of a down day, relax or whatever. But do you find it hard to, especially like pre-season where you said you're training every day to get up and get to work and, your body is your greatest tool. Is it difficult mentally to be up for it every single day?
I wouldn't say mentally, I'd say more physically, especially when you're younger as well, because it's one of those things that your body isn't, I'd say, is it weathered enough? Like it hasn't seen enough pre-season, to cope with it. So I'd say I'd struggle a lot more when I was younger, especially like Popovich has renowned hard pre-season. So I went straight from basically doing nothing to in with him, whereas like this is first grade now kind of thing. So he and he'd be on to you every single day. So I think there was just more of a like that mental side of things where you had to go, okay, I got to, like, I know I had a good session yesterday, I got to back it up again tomorrow and it up again the next day, where it's like, obviously your body will progress and like be able to handle it more, but like it's just the mental side of things where you're like, okay, I need to be at the top of my game, especially as a young guy too, because you're playing for your contract, you're playing for your career really. So it's one of those where it's like, you got to be on top of your game every single day.
I find it interesting that you brought up the physical side, because I thought, is that mental battle? But there's a lot of guys I played with and you would have been the same growing up with guys that you thought, this guy's amazing, he's a freak, he's going to make it. And a lot of them don't. It's just a small percentage that do make it to professional footballers. And, speaking to people involved with clubs, and they're like, well, training every day is different to 2 or 3 times a week. Like you said, you've got to back that up each day, every day. And the physical toll on the body, some people can't do it. Some people will break down and struggle. And a lot of people go, something wrong with the system's broken, this kid didn't make it, he should have made it, she should have made it, whatever. But there's so much more to it than just being a good footballer. I think that's a fair comment, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. It's, you see it all the time growing up. I was nowhere near the top any percentage growing up. I was always that second batch of, like I said, the second batch of players coming through or whatnot. But it was, and they had everything, like growing up, like technique, physical, just, they're just taking that next step where they're, I don't know, it could be a mental thing, and also, a lot of it does come down to physical, where they just, can't keep up, can't be consistent. So I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to football, is just being consistent. That's what I've worked out over my time. So it's
which is probably the hardest thing for a young kid to be, is consistent at that level. 100%. So that's why I think when you do see a young kid with that consistency, everyone's like, wow, this is, and that's why those kids are overseas doing what they're doing and whatnot. So is there any sort of drill or training thing that you enjoy doing that you feel like this really gets you right for a game or whatever? Like, are you like, you know what? Like for me, I just love doing attack v defense. Like I just want combinations. I want to link up. I want to do stuff. I want to get the groove with my teammates. Or, do you want to hit 10 pens again training and feel like a superstar? Like, was there anything there that stands out to you, Sheva, Rondo, whatever, that you kind of go, you know what, I'm feeling it. If I do this before the game or on Friday, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I'd say a big thing for me is probably the Shevas. Like everyone loves that. Especially a day before a game, like the tackle's even flying then, but like it's just, if you get a good 10-15 minutes of Chevy, you're buzzing going into it. And then like if you do any kind of small sided games too, that helps, because then you get your eye in, especially for the tackers too. They if you're banging in goals on the 5 side, then you go out on the weekend, you're gonna feel confident to score anyway. So it's I'd say the more games the better for me. So that's my ideal day before a game.
Yeah, lovely. So if we move into match day now, so do you have what can you give us an insight, I suppose, on what a standard match day? Let's say it's a home game. What does a home game look like for you personally, like during the day? Mm-hmm. Do you have any build, like in the morning? Is it I know we'll touch on later, you've got a wife and 2 kids. Is that are the kids your alarm clock, or Mrs. let you sleep in? How does it go from, I suppose, wake up to games finished? What's the sort of process for you?
Yeah, personally? So it's changed a lot now in the last couple of years. So having 2 kids has thrown a bit of a spanner in works, but it's so basically I'll just I prefer to take my mind away from the game before it. So I get up in the morning, then I'll have brekkie, and then I'll tend to go to the park with my kid or something.
Are you up with the kids, or do you have I'm sleeping till 8 o'clock?
No. I don't get away with that. I might get a nap in maybe when they're napping.
What about grand final day? Surely this guy, I'll take the kids to.
I have to put in a permission slip for that one, but I'm just pretty chill, to be honest. Like I'll go to the park, do whatever, go for a little walk. I don't really have a set routine. I kind of got out of that. What do they call it with you?
Like a superstition.
Superstitions, So I try to not have them anymore, because that played in my mind. Like my first couple of years, I had to do everything right. Even the night before the game, I had to do the exact same thing.
Can you tell me
about exact same show? So I'd have to basically put on. I'd have to have.
Is this when you're single, like just on your own?
Single.
You're allowed to have your own.
Cool. I'd have to have spaghetti bolognese. I'd have to. This the night before. I don't want in the breakfast, but so the night before I'd have that, and I'd watch a movie and then go to bed, like say 9 or 10, whatever it was, and then wake up the next morning and I have to go and get breakfast at this specific cafe that's down the road. Same breakfast every single time. And it was like one of those acai bowl things.
Cultured.
Yeah, coastal. So and then lunch was, I think, probably the leftover spaghetti bolognese the night before, and then play. And then I'm like, why? Obviously I'd tinker with it if something went wrong in the game, and I'd keep trying to chop and change it. But I'm like, I used to put that so much emphasis on that as to why things would happen in the game, where I'm like, nah, you can't do this.
Didn't put enough parmesan on
the
spaghetti bowl. So that's all scrap now.
That's all I try to. Like obviously subconsciously I might do something, but like I try to.
Food though, like do you have set food on game day?
I'll try to have pasta, like that's one thing, or like a carby, like a rice or something, or but I'll toss up. I have chicken one time, I might have steak, I might have whatever. Like there's
just in case
not restricted anymore. Exactly. No, because it does. You can see like players. It plays them massively. If they don't have a specific thing, like don't want to throw Lockie Rose on the bus, but I'll do it. He goes through massive stages where his first season he had to have sushi before the game, every single game. So we're going like, well, why do you have to have sushi anyway? So we're playing Perth away, and then he goes, because there's a sushi place at the airport in Sydney, and he thought for some reason there was no sushi places in Perth. So he bought sushi in Sydney the day before the game, bought it at the airport, took it all the way on a plane trip all the way to Perth, stored overnight in his fridge just so he could have it the day of the game for lunch. So that's what I mean. Players like that, it's just like it's just too much effort for me. So I mean, he's scored a fair few goals, so maybe it does work for him. But he's gone through a few, to be fair. Like he's a disgrace.
Can't wait to hear more about them. All right, so no set routine in that sense. More keeping your mind off things, playing with the kids, doing those things. Say games at 5 o'clock, for example. What time are you guys at the ground? You get yourselves to the ground?
Yeah, home games. Yeah. Yep. So normally, get there 2 hours, 2.5 hours before the game. It's very long for me. Like I'd rather just get straight in there.
Just run onto the
clothes
pitch,
on,
boots
go
on
there, warm up,
yeah.
out. But I think that's the worst thing for me on a game day, where it's like you're just waiting for ages. That's what it feels like anyway. But so you get there 2 hours, 2.5 hours before the game, and that's when you do all your prep. If you need the physio, you do your strapping, you do your massages, you do your pre-ab stuff. So if you need to roll, stretch, and all that thing, and then I'll tend to do a video. I'd say an hour before you go out to warm up. Another just tactical video. What we need to do today, what they're gonna hopefully do today, and then go out, warm up, and then you're pretty much ready to rock and roll after that.
Yeah, awesome. So, are you a music person? Like, in that, obviously, got some time to kill. Are you headphones in, or are you more conversing with the boys?
Yeah, I'm a big chatter, so I'll just sit there and just basically try to take my mind off the game completely. So it's probably the people next to me probably hate it, but they're just trying to shut up, put the earphone in. But I just like chatting because I'd rather because if you're constantly thinking about the game and in the zone, listen to Rocky, like you tend to go out there just shaking and wide, and I'd rather just be relaxed and calm. So that's the way my game is anyway. So I'd rather just go there.
And do you sit with the same people in the change room?
Well, you tend to get put in the same spot, so
it's dictated to you where you sit.
Literally, you're sitting next to these people, and
is that based on position, starting lineup, something like that, or does it change? Or
last year it was kind of position, so they put all defenders, midfielders, attackers, then the goalkeepers together, and then it was funny if you didn't make the squad or you were 17th man, you'd be like the other side of the goalkeepers. So you just knew walking in, if you're like, you see your jersey next to him, you're like, I'm not playing today. So,
that's how you find out.
Yeah, because you rock up, they take I think it's like 17 or 18. Yeah, basically, if someone gets into that warm up, you got to be ready to go. So if you basically got to do the full warm up with the team, do everything with the team, like you're going to play basic. And then once you get the all clear from the team, and then you just got to have a shower and just watch the game. So it's pretty depressing, to be honest. Like,
it's definitely a challenge. I think as well. On music, I think the most important role at any football club is the club DJ. So do you have someone who's bringing the speaker, who's pumping the music, game day?
I haven't seen it too much this season, but last season was Zani.
Yeah.
I loved it. He used to bring this big, huge boombox in, basically carry it over his shoulder, walk in.
Forget his shin pads, but bring the speaker.
Yes, exactly. He loved it. And then he'd play some, he liked his house and, I don't really know that kind of genre, but he would just blast it, and everyone would just have to cop it. Like, just like, okay, he's in charge of the speaker, and like a few people would try to take over. It's one of those things, I don't want to be the guy having the pressure of just picking a song after song after song. I'm like, nah, you can just do whatever you want, just cop it.
Like I said, it's the most important job. It is the worst job. I have done it before, and it's like, you're never going to please everyone. Right? Think about the age gap from your youngest player to your 100%. Most senior coach. Right? There's no genre of music that everyone's going to be chill with. There's no choice. So you need to do it and be prepared to cop it. And, I've been in teams before where if you're the DJ and you lose that game, you're out. Someone else is in.
It's ruthless, isn't it?
Yeah, we've also done there, like, everyone submits 2 songs or something, and it just goes on random, and then everyone's like, who did this? And everyone's like, kind of away from them. So there's no real DJ at the moment.
No, not that I've seen. I think it's just whoever's just feeling on the day will just step up. It's probably a good thing, because then if you feel on the day, then you're ready, you're lock and loaded. But I don't think we have one at the moment.
But there is a speaker, there is music on.
We still got a Zani speaker, like we didn't let him take it, so we still got the speaker.
Plus speaker.
But it's just rotation policy at the moment, I think.
Yeah. So. Okay, so who are you hating on the music? Who's going on there and you're going, no, don't. If you want to put Lockie Rose on the bus again, like, he's already quite under.
To be fair, him, because he thinks he's a DJ. During COVID, he bought one of the decks, like a DJ.
Nothing
decks.
surprised me with this kid.
Yeah,
No,
it's
like,
ridiculous. Yeah, basically there'll be a million stories about him. But yeah, so he bought a deck in the COVID time, and now he backs himself as a DJ. So he makes his own little mixes and whatnot. So I'm definitely going to see him because he hasn't produced one good song yet. So
all right,
La Rose.
There you go, lock it in, La Rose again. You just said my last question on this was if you have any pre-game rituals or superstitions or whatever. You said no. I'd like to hear about some of the other ones. Maybe people you've played with in the past or currently. Are there any that stand out? So I know for me, when I was probably playing 20s at the time, there was a first grader who would not let his feet touch the concrete. So he'd put like a little towel out and get ready and whatever, and like he'd either had thongs on, like slides on, socks on, or boots on. And if he was sitting at the chair, like getting ready, towels out, feet are on the towel. And it wasn't the towel he showered with, it was a foot towel. Like he had a special one just for that. Like, and that was just his thing, like clean feet, whatever. Like, is there anything that sticks out? You know, I know some people go like all left foot first, then right foot.
Yeah, there's always those ones where it's left, right first, but like, yeah, in terms of really, crazy ones, I don't think so. It's just like, I'd say like probably just Kenny with his food, Lucky Rose with his food. Yeah.
Yep.
Not off the top of my head anyway. I'm sure
one comes to you.
Yeah, one. I'll send it in.
Thank you all for listening to the home leg of our chat with Jake McGing. Coming shortly, we will be dropping the away leg, part B of our chat with Jake McGing, so make sure you stay tuned for that one as well. Please give us a like and follow on social media. Make sure you like and subscribe to us wherever you are getting your podcasts. Thank you again for tuning in and kicking some goals with us. And as always, remember to celebrate with the corner flag.